Hey, I'm Brandon Gaylor. Today we're at eztroll Outdoors. It's my family's business. We sell fishing stuff and some outdoor apparel. And on this week's Top Bait Tuesday, it is for February 13th through February 19th. I'm going to show y'all the top selling baits from that last week. Let's see. For bass, I had 5 baits that actually tied for first. One of them is the Zoom Fat Albert Grub in white pearl. That's just a single tail grub bait. That was one of the top selling baits. And then next up, go in here to the middle room again. This is where we've been staying the past about a month really. And it was the Keitech Swing Impact Fat, of course. That's what we've been selling. 3.8 inches. The same size we've been selling mostly. In the Pro Blue Red Pearl, and that's been the best selling color, but this week I'm out of them. Second best selling color we've been having was the Sexy Shad, and that's the last pack of those. So this is one of the best selling baits for the past month really, but in Pro Blue Red Pearl. Let's see, let's go on in to our main room here. I've got a jig trailer is actually next. Didn't really have any top selling jigs, but a jig trailer. It is the Berkley Powerbait Meaty chunk, 2.75 inch in green pumpkin. That's actually the last pack of those too, so we're gonna be needing to do some ordering for this stuff that's selling most. It's all getting sold up so quick, it's getting sold out within a week or so. And then lastly, we had 2 baits here. They are the Strike King Chick Magnet. These are new for this year. One color for this past week that sold the most was Tip Special. It's a really good looking color. And then this Natural Shad color. Both of those colors sold the most this past week. That's the 2 top selling colors. You got like a chartreuse color and a silver kind of shad blue color. You know what I mean? So that's these 2 colors and red are like the only 3 colors you really need for a crankbait. And our red ones, we've actually sold out of most of them. We had the tomato soup. Those sold pretty well, and we've sold out of them. We don't have any more of those left. The really red color, like the red crawl, we've got them ordered, but they haven't came in yet. So when those come in, they'll really sell. I'm expecting them to if we get them before spring. And then for our crappie section, crappie and other kind of baits, which the grub could kind of be another, but it could be bass also. You can use it as a trailer or just as bait by itself. Number 1, of course, this has been the top selling bait the past month or so, is John Deere Green Kalin grubs. But instead of the small pack, we actually sold most of these big 50 packs. That's the best selling crappie bait this month, or this past week, not month, sorry. Well, actually, it has been this past month too, just in the small packs. So John Deere Green grubs are still selling. Then second, we have a different brand, Bobby Garland. It's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad in Tuxedo Shimmer. Instead of a grub, that's just like a straight tail bait. So a little bit different profile and different brand and different color. So that's our top 2 selling crappie baits. So on using these baits, let's see, you would use these chick magnets. You just tie them to a bait caster or a spinning rod. You could use a spinning, would be fine for these since they're not super heavy or anything. Probably use 8 or 10 pound line, like a medium action rod or even a medium heavy. For a bait caster, I'd use like a medium action cranking rod, medium heavy cranking rod, or a medium action fast tipped rod. These are just going to work shallow around rocks and stumps and trees and stuff like that. It's really easy. You're just going to cast it out and reel it back in pretty much. You can stop and go with, like if you hit something, you can stop it and let it float up a little bit and keep going. A lot of times that's when you'll get bit. For the swim baits, I've showed y'all the past several weeks of how to use these. You're just going to use a normal jig head on the front of this and hook it towards up the back. The hook will come out the top of the bait. You can use that by itself, or you can rig it the same way on an Alabama rig. This Fat Albert grub, it's just a single tail grub. You can use it on a jig head with the same kind of way as a swim bait, with the hook coming out the back of it. Or you could use it on an Alabama rig. I've done that before. It's a cheap swim bait option for an Alabama rig. Or some guys in open water, like just around rocks and stuff, you can kind of hop it on bottom. So you can use this swimming it back, kind of like a minnow bait like this, or you can use it on bottom, just kind of dragging it or hopping it on bottom. That's a good bait to catch bass or any kind of fish, really. This jig trailer, it's a meaty chunk. You're going to take just a bass jig and thread it on the back of the hook. You can either thread it to where it sticks way out, like put the head of this bait, the hook right here, or you can thread the hook through the tip and then out the back, and it will sit, the head of it will sit up here, and it makes it a little shorter, a little more compact, I guess. That's just a green pumpkin jig trailer. For these crappie baits, you're just going to use a small crappie jig head, and you can cast them out under a floater and just let them sit, or you can kind of reel them back in, or you can just dead stick them under the boat, kind of like just having it straight down under the boat, not even do anything with it, or you can jig it up and down some. There's several different ways to work these kind of baits. You just got to figure out what the fish want. These will have a little more action because they have the curly tail. These are a straight tail, so they'll be kind of more subtle, I guess. So as you can see, the same kind of baits that have been selling the past month or so, well, since January, are still selling. We've got the little crankbaits, like the flat side crankbaits, swim baits, because they're Alabama rigging or using it single. Jig trailer, we've had that. It's been one of the top selling baits a couple weeks ago, and a grub. I mean, all those baits have been selling the past month or so. And then crappie, it's the same John Deere green grub is the top seller. Then this week we had the other Bobby Garland. That's just, I guess the water's been a little muddy this week. We had some rains, so that black and white color probably shows up better in the muddy water. But thanks for watching this week, and check back next week to see what the top selling bait is for this current week. Right now we're seeing a lot more fishermen come in and buy stuff, so our bait sales should go up, and we should have some, instead of everything tied, because we sold the same amount of baits, we should have some more spikes. So like a certain bait will way outsell some other stuff. Then we may have another one kind of below it, then another one below it. So hopefully we don't have as much ties coming up here soon, since we should be getting busier. We got a lot of tournaments starting up and some nicer, warmer weather coming up. This week it's supposed to rain all week, so it may kind of be slow sales this week. But hopefully after this week, it'll stay warm and less rain. So check back next week to see what the top selling bait is for this current week coming up. See y'all. Bye.